And welcome back to Rapid Licks.
Alright guys, today we are going to be doing 3 rapid licks for the price of 1. And what I mean by that is I'm going to teach you 3 licks which are completely different, but I've put them into one sequence together. So yeah, it's basically one big lick of 3 licks which are all very useful and are guaranteed to spice up your playing. Anyway, enough of my blabbering. Let's get playing. Alright, so a few things to take care of before we get into the lick. We're going to be doing everything in standard tune, and for the first lick we're going to be using A dominant pentatonic or A pentatonic dominant. For those of you that aren't familiar with that, I did post up another rapid lick 2 or 3 weeks ago using specifically that scale. Please make sure you go check that out if you want kind of a better grasp on it. The quick Coles note version of that scale is essentially all you need to do is think about something like A minor pentatonic. That scale we all know and love. And all I want you to do is just take your pinky and move it up 1 semitone. So you got that kind of sound. And that is basically pentatonic dominant in A. And the other 2 licks we're going to be doing are going to be using diminished phrases. So for diminished, again, all you need to do to think about that sort of thing, if we're thinking A diminished, is just stack minor thirds. So that kind of idea. Nothing really complicated, everything repeats, just shifts diagonally. Okay? Good. Oh, and as far as tones go, we're going to be using this ancient old Aldegas guitar I picked up recently, and this is just going through my Trainer Dark Horse, and audio is coming through the camera, obviously. All right, let's go. So, lick number 1. What does that look and sound like? It should look and sound a little bit like this. Alright, and all I'm doing here, folks, is just going to be doing a very simple pattern, and we're going to repeat that. This pattern actually I got from Dave Brewster over in Late Night Lessons. If you're not familiar with that channel, highly recommend you check it out. Anyway, he got this lick from Ray Gomez from the 70s. Not really familiar with Ray Gomez or his playing, but I heard Brewster play this lick. I liked it, and as I like to do, I modified it a bit, made a big sequence out of it. Anyway, so to start this off, again, we're thinking A dominant pentatonic. What I want you to do is start off right up here on your E string on the 10th fret, and you're just going to play that and hammer on to the 12th, like so. And then we're just going to move back down 1 fret over to the 9th, and you're going to play that, and you're going to trill on to the 10 and off, like so. All right, so this is what we got so far. Just like that, okay? Now we're going to jump onto the B string, grab the 12, and you play that, and then we jump back over onto the E string, and you're going to play the 9 again. Okay, so all together up to this point, here's what we got. All right, from there what I want you to do is we're going to continue just moving down through the scale. I want you to jump onto your B string right here and grab the 10th fret. Pluck that with the pick, obviously, unless you want to use your fingers, whatever works for you. Hammer onto the 12. Okay, so all together here's what we have. Alright, then after that, folks, what I want you to do, as you probably already guessed, we're just moving down the scale and kind of hammering on. We're going to come over here onto the 8th fret of your B string. You're going to play that once and hammer on to the 10. And that's the entire phrase, guys. All we're going to do is we're going to take this simple idea and we're just going to keep moving it down through the strings, alright? So the whole phrase looks and sounds kind of like this. Nice and simple, right? Alright, so we started that last phrase off, obviously, right there on that D note on the high E string. So let's find ourselves a D note on the G string. And we got one right there on the 7th fret. So we're going to do exactly what we just did, but now starting, you got it, on the 7th fret of your G string. So do the exact same position I just showed you with the exact same shifts, but now we're doing that on the G string and on the D string. Okay, pretty easy, right? All right, so now that you got that far, what we're going to do is, as you might have noticed, we're locating D's. Next D, down here on your A string, and yeah, you got it. We're going to do the exact same pattern. So, starting off on the 5th fret of your A string. And that's it. Literally, guys, not rocket science here. That is the entire pentatonic dominant lick in A pentatonic dominant. So that lick all together played slowly should be kind of like this. Nailed it. All right, lick number 2. Okay, lick number 2. All I'm doing here, folks, is stacked minor thirds. So just basically think, the beginning of your minor pentatonic box, and you've got your root, your minor third, and then all we're going to do is move this up horizontally, 1 fret at a time, moving down the strings. So to start that off, we've got, obviously 5 to 8, and I'm just hammering on. When I come down 1 string, shift up 1 fret, do the exact same thing. And then I go down 1 string, shift up and do the exact same thing. Okay, so all together, here's what we got so far. Now I could just run all the way through this, but that gets a little bit boring. So what I did is I went back 1 and then up 3. So go back 1, starting off here on the A string at your 6th fret, and go up 3. And by this point, you've probably already noticed how I'm stacking this pattern. So once you've made it to this point, we're going to go back 1 and continue on. But up to this point, here's what we got. Okay, so then we go back 1, and we're going up. Now once you get to the B string, of course, due to the tuning of a guitar, you're going to have to jump actually over 1 more fret to make this work. So instead of just going up here to the 9, you're going to go all the way to the 10. And repeat the same pattern. Okay, so here's what we got up to that point. Now this piece here is a bit cheeky. Since we're going up 3, back 1, you got to go back 1, and that's a bit of a jump. So jump back onto the 8th fret of your G string and just repeat the pattern again. And that's the entire thing. All right, so all the way up to that point, here's what we have. Perfect. Okay, so lick number 3. This one is going to use a little bit of kind of sweeping economy picking stuff going on. I actually stole this one from Gus G. I heard him play it years ago, and I think it was a guitar clinic that I saw on YouTube. And all we're going to be doing is this kind of thing. Okay, and all I'm doing here, folks, is we ended that last phrase, the second sequence, right there on the 14th fret of your high E string. So we're still thinking diminished. What I want you to do is play that, pull off back to the 11 on the high E, and then with your ring finger, grab the C note located on the B string on the 13th fret. So we have this. And then just carry on through that little sweep. I want you to grab right up here on the 14th fret of your G string, play that once, and then pull off back to the 11. Okay, so here's what we have. Right? Pretty cool. Okay, now what I want you to do is, where you ended off on the B string, starting on the 13th? Grab that note again with your pinky and pull that off now to the 10, kind of like that. And then with your, I'm using my middle finger here, I'm grabbing right there the 11th fret on the G string. So we have just like that so far. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pinky, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab the 13th fret of my D string. And you've probably already noticed the way the spacing is working with the minor thirds. You're just going to pull that back off all the way to the 10th fret on the D string. All right, so the whole phrase up to this point looks and sounds kind of like this. And then I'm kind of resolving by sliding up here to the E, which is located, of course, on your 14th fret on the D string. And yeah, that's the entire lick. So the whole thing played slowly. Just like that. Now, of course, if you want to end this the way that I ended my phrasing in the little shred thing I did at the very beginning, all you want to do here is off of this this E is what I did is I basically just played an E7, dominant 7. So that kind of sound. And if you're not familiar with this particular shape, all you need to do is put your index finger right there on the 14th fret of your D string. You're going to take your, I'm using my ring finger here, and I'm playing the 16th fret of G string. And then I'm using my middle finger to play the 15th fret of the B string. And I'm using my pinky here and I'm grabbing the 16th fret of the high E string. That kind of sound. Now, of course, this is a tense dominant chord. It wants to resolve, and it wants to resolve to A. So all I'm doing here is I'm just playing a basically an A power chord for resolution. And for that one, folks, all I'm doing is I'm just kind of barring all the way across here on the 14th fret, starting off on the D string. So we've obviously got 14 on the D string, 14 on the G string, and I'm using my pinky here and just grabbing up there on the 17th fret, the B and the E string, like that. And that is an A power chord. You can even play all the strings open if you want, like that. It doesn't matter, it's still an A power chord. All right, got it? Awesome. All right, so that entire lick all together, played slowly, should look and sound kind of like this. All right, played a little bit quicker. Maximum effort. Well, there you guys have it. 3 licks for the price of 1. I hope you enjoyed this. You've got yourself now a pentatonic dominant shred lick, which is trilling, I might add, followed by 2 diminished phrases that you can now take and incorporate into your own playing. If you did find this useful in any way, or if you learned anything, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and help this channel grow a little bit. I'm getting really close to 1,000 subs, and with your help, I just might make it. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Until then, just keep on shredding. Bye for now.